Alright, hello and welcome everyone to the Falcon Graphics Rusty Misfits Racing League Paved Mini Stock Series. We are at Slinger Speedway for race number 4 of this season here. Dean Quallie still on top of the point standings. Larsen Parker though took a chunk out of his lead last week there, taking the W at Lanier Speedway. Dean Quallie 146 points in the lead right now. Larsen Parker only 142 back. It's a pretty tight points race right now. But we got a few new names running with us here tonight. Mark Keatman, Carter Russo stepping in for their first times tonight. Logan McNitt as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we are almost getting ready to go green flag racing here. So let us go and begin our event with our national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming,
and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see we rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go green flag racing here with heat number 1. Slinger Speedway, the world's fastest quarter mile here. Austin Strang on pole position with Mark Keatman starting outside of him. Points leader Dean Quallie will bring up inside of row number 2 with James Poleski starting outside. Row number 3 sees Logan McNitt and Bradley Stefan in that 89 machine, bringing up the back of this field here. Looks like we will get 2 8-lap heat races here to determine our starting positions for our 75-lap feature race on this short racetrack. Green flag is now in the air. Great start. Oh, little bit of contact there. Austin Strang almost goes around. does a good job keeping that car facing the right direction, but is going the wrong direction. Sliding backwards, Dean Quallie getting around him. James Pileski, he gets in the outside wall there. That's slowing down Logan McNitt and Bradley Stefan. There are no caution flags here in these heat races. You just gotta try to survive, but right now, Mark Keatman Jr. out to the lead, handily over James Pileski. Over 1.3 seconds back to that 93 machine. But he's got a mirror full of Dean Quallie. He's just a car length or two behind him right now. Trying to close that gap, trying to get up into that second position. Remember, folks, heat race number 1 will determine the starting position for the inside rows of our feature race here. As we see Dean sliding up and allowing Brad Stefan to get around him in that 89 car. Dean does like sliding to the back of the field for the starts and working his way through, but with the field of fast drivers right now, I don't know if that's a very viable option for him. Right now, though, that 2 car of Mark Keatman out there putting on a clinic, can continuously open that gap up on Pileski. But Pileski has a little bit of breathing room behind him now. Brad Stefan, Dean Quallie still kind of battling it out here for third place as we are on our white flag lap here. Coming to the line, checkered flag in the air. Mark Keatman will win heat race number 1. James Pileski will hold on for second. Bradley Stefan for third. Then Dean Quallie, Logan McNitt, and Austin Strang rounding out our our field here. Now we will get ready for heat race number 2. The other half of the field. This will line up our outside row. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for this race. Hunter Wellman in that 64 car starting on pole position. But we know that 18 car of Larsen Parker starting outside pole is a very, very fast driver. Mick Olofsson in that 75 machine. You just finished listening to his broadcast over on All the Dirt for the Legend Series. Now racing that 75 car here. Starting in third. In fourth place, we have this 16 of Travis Lepanis, bringing up fourth place outside of second row. Then, a little bit further back here, row number 3, we got the 38 car, Matt Moreau, starting on the inside line with newcomer Carter Russo in that 021 machine. Outside of him, one more time around this racetrack, that pace car will pull off. And Hunter Wellman will lead these cars to the green flag for 8 laps of heat racing action in our final heat race tonight. Then we will go green flag racing for 75 laps around this short, tight oval track as the green flag is in the air. Great start on that outside by that 18 machine there to take the lead away immediately. So it looks like the 21 of Russo getting in that outside wall just a little bit. Oh, and we got a spinner. Mick Olofsson going down, visiting the infield. Going to send him right to the back of the field, but Larsen Parker continuing to drive away at the front over Hunter Wellman. Wellman down 1 position right now in that second place. After starting on pole, Travis Lepain is kind of taking advantage of that 75 car spinning out, moving his way up into third. And Carter Russo, who we just saw for the first time in the Rusty Misfits Racing League in the Legends Series a few moments ago, proving he had some speed there in the Legends cars, now showing that speed transitions over into the mini stocks, pressuring that 16 car for third place right now. A little bit further behind that 021 is the 38 of Matt Moreau in that Dodge Avenger mini stock. They're just kind of winding his P's and Q's right now, staying out of trouble as much as he can. Larsen Parker continuing to drive away at the front with 2 laps remaining. Down the back straightaway one more time here before he goes around and takes a white flag. One more time around this short quarter-mile track. Larsen Parker going to win this heat race handily over Carter Russo. Hunter Wellman having some struggles there as he loses 2 positions. Carter Russo will take second over Travis Lapanis. Hunter Wellman losing a couple positions on that final lap to finish 4th. Matt Moreau holding on to 5th with Mick Olsen after spinning down to the infield. Going to finish at the back of the pack and start our feature race at the tail end of this field. Now we are getting ready for our 75 lap feature here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go through our starting lineup. On pole position by winning heat race number 1, the 2 car of Mark Keatman. Then we have Larsen Parker, who has not gotten onto the grid just yet, on his outside in that 18 machine. James Pileski in that 93 car, another pretty solid driver, starting in 3rd place inside of row number 2. Then we have Carter Russo starting in the outside line. Bradley Stefan starts the inside of row 3 with Travis Lapanis starting outside of him. In that 17 Ford Mustang, we have Dean Quallie starting in 7th inside of row number 4 with Hunter Wellman starting on the outside. Then we have Logan McNitt in that 60 car starting inside of row 5 with Matt Moreau outside of him. Bringing up the back of this field, we have the 33 car of Austin Strang and Mick Olsen. After an unfortunate heat race number 2, will start at the very tail of this field. One more time around this short racetrack. 75 laps here is not going to take very long for these drivers to complete if they can keep this race going clean. Green flag in the air. Keatman with a very strong start. Looks like Pileski got a little sideways. He keeps it straight there, but he's going to have to fight for third to hold on to 3rd place. Carter Russo on the outside of him there as Larsen Parker clears that 93 machine for 2nd. Carter Russo taking away 3rd from Pileski. Pileski able to slot right in just ahead of Stefan. But that was a very, very close call there. He was almost cutting that bumper off that 89 machine. Looks like Russo having some connection issues as we see him brush the outside wall down the back straightaway. That's definitely not the fastest way around this racetrack. Larsen Parker Keatman honest right now. In his heat race, Keatman was able to drive away over 2nd within the first couple of laps. Now he's only got a half second over Parker and Russo. Pileski and Stefan there. We know these guys are quick. If you watch our ARCA series on Mondays, these guys are part of Top Groove Racing and they are fast. Usually finishing up in the top 5, top 10 for the most part this season. Continuing to translate that run over here into the mini stock series. So one car we're definitely not going to want to forget about though, as we are clicking off lap number 8 right now, is this 17 car of Dean Quallie. He usually starts his races a little bit further back, and he slowly works his way through the field by saving tire. Like I said though, with the quality of the competition ahead of him, I don't know how much that saving tire is going to be a benefit at this point in this event. Especially when he was saying earlier that this track is not a good one for saving tire on to begin with. A lot of cars catching that outside wall as we see there down the back straightaway. Keatman slowly working that gap up over Parker. Not a whole lot there, but Russo's staying right there on that back bumper with the 18 machine. Why don't we hop on board with the 17 of Dean Quallie for a couple of laps here. See just what he is doing behind that wheel. See if we can figure out why how he saves a little bit of tire. Can hear right there that that tire is not squealing all that loudly, which is telling the driver that that car is not working those tires that hard. Definitely something you want to pay attention to. A tire will talk to you if you know what to listen for. Pulaski there, or Parker, losing second place to Carter Russo, looking to make the crossover. Not quite able to make too much happen there, but he is now back in third place. Not a place we're used to seeing that 18 as he looks to give the back bumper a little contact there. Try to move that to 0-2-1 up the track a little bit. Russo doing a very good job of keeping that car under him and down on that bottom. Parker trying everything he can to get down there, and you see how hard that 18 car is on the brakes. We'll see if we can get a little bit of a body cam here. On the right front suspension, we do not have quite the right angle to see those brakes glowing, but you can kind of see it there from the camera angle there earlier, that these tires, they're on the brakes a lot in these, getting into these corners and getting those rotors glowing hot. Right now, they are working past the 75 car, Mick Olofsson. Olofsson going a lap down early here. Not sure what's going on with that 75 car. He seems to be struggling just a little bit. But everyone gets around him cleanly. Pulaski right now, he's got the 89 machine of Bradley Stefan all over the back bumper, looking to try to find a way around him right now. Travis Lepanus, Dean Quallie, not that far behind. Up front though, Mark Keatman out on a Sunday drive. He has opened that gap up over Russo now at 1.6 seconds and growing. Russo now has a little bit of a distance over Parker. Not a whole lot, but a couple of car lengths. That's a lot better than he had a few laps ago here, as we are now a third of the way through this race. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you it would not take them very long to click off laps here if they can keep it going green, which they have done an admirable job of so far. Pulaski able to open that gap up over Stefan just a little bit. They're giving themselves some breathing room. Stefan, though, not getting that breathing room from behind. Travis Lepanus in that 16 car is all the way behind him. Looking a little bit inside here in turn 3. Stefan gives him the room. Stefan better hope that he can get down and clear if that 16 car clears him, because that 17 machine of Dean Quallie is not very far behind. I would say, though, with the lack of caution so far, Dean Quallie not going to want to babyfoot too much more. He is going to want to start opening it up and start making some moves on the cars around him. Still side by side here for 5th place. Lepanus on the inside, Stefan on the outside. And it is going back and forth between these two cars. Stefan getting nice runs off. Lepanus getting the advantage going into the corner. Neither one can seem to get the final advantage and clear the other car at the moment, though. Brad washes up the track a little bit. That does give the advantage to Lepanus, but ever so slightly. Stefan still on that outside quarter panel, not allowing that 16 car to clear him. Quallie trying to close in just a little bit, trying to take advantage of that 16 car, moving the 89 up. Thought about looking there, but didn't quite have it. Stefan was able to get down and slam that door on that 17 car. That's going to that little brake check is that Quallie had to do to avoid a collision. It's going to cost him a little bit of time on that 89 machine. Watch Carter Russo putting that 33 car working around the lap traffic of Austin Strang there right now, getting around him cleanly. Austin not really getting in the way, but now Larsen Parker's got to do the same around him, but he is getting company behind him in the form of that 93 machine of James Pileski. Pileski looking to try to get himself up into a podium position. He is now on the back bumper of that 18 car. Looks like Parker is starting to fade ever so slightly here. In fact, he is one of the slower cars. In fact, the slowest car in the top 5 right now by about 0.3 of a second slower, as he has now got the 93 inside of him, coming through 3 and 4. And this little bit of battle has allowed Travis Lepanis to catch up to this group as well. So now that 93 Pileski has cleared Parker, James is going to set sail there, hopefully try to open up as much of a gap there. Parker did a good job of getting down in behind Pileski there to make sure that Lepanis could not follow him through, but looks like that 18 car is fading. Right now, Lepanis getting down to the inside and not quite able to get alongside there. The 18 pulled back ahead, but still holding high. That's going to allow Travis to get down inside. Nope, not that time by. They got the lap traffic of Austin Strang now to deal with. Strang goes way high, but now they are side by side. That kind of bottled up the 18 car ever so slightly. That allowed the 16 to get down and alongside the 18. And now Brad Stefan is in with this mix as well. He's following that 16 through on the bottom. The paint is clear of Parker. Now Stefan looking to get around him. Dean Quallie right behind that 89, looking to follow that 89 as well through. Parker hemorrhaging spots right now. It's getting stuck out on that outside line. Definitely do not want to be there. We know that 18 car has some serious pace, but definitely not enjoying tonight's race the way things are going. All that battling at the front, though, has allowed Keatman to pull away. Now 2.5 seconds over Russo, who is kind of catching up to a bit of a flap traffic, a logjam here, as we got the 60 car of Logan McNitt, Matt Moreau, and I believe that's Hunter Wellman just ahead of them. 3 cars a lap down. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. It seems that I, for some reason, got booted out of the server. We'll have to give it a moment here and see if I can get back in. I apologize for this. I do not know what is going on.
I respect it. Yeah, my car's been great this race.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I do apologize for that. I'm not sure what exactly happened there or why I got booted, but we have 17 laps remaining in this race. No change at the front by the looks of it. Mark Keatman still on point, over 2 seconds ahead. Almost 3 ahead of Carter Russo. James Pileski in third right now. But James has company. That 16 car of Lepanus has caught back up there and is pressuring that 93 to try to sneak third place away. Hopefully, you'll see right here if James has saved any tire. And then we got Brad Stefane in 5th place with Dean Quallie in 6th. Larsen Parker has stopped the hemorrhaging of positions in 7th. That is a loss of 5 positions from where he started on the outside pole. But right now it has been the Mark Keatman show from the get-go. He has started on the pole and he has driven away. Right now our big battle here is for third. Pileski has it. Lepanus is trying to sneak it away. In fact, he is able to get down to the bottom there. Pileski was able to get a good run off as we got the 60 car going on the outside to let these guys go by. Pileski holding on to third place right now, but Lepanus definitely has a solid run. 9 laps remaining in this race. Lepanus is running out of times. And yes, Mick, this is crazy for the world's fastest quarter mile oval. No cautions, that is highly impressive. These guys have been putting on a show. They've been running their tails off. And right now we've got a 3-way battle for third place here. Bradley Stefan has caught up to that 16 machine. But 7 laps to go. Is there going to be enough time for these two to work around that 93 of Pileski? Up front, that 2-car Mark Keatman, he has just ran away. He's out for a Sunday cruise. He's got no competition. It's going to take a caution for anyone to have a shot at him right now unless he makes a serious mistake. Carter Russo pretty solidly in second, but does look like he is having some minor connection issues here and there. But yeah, that 16 car is still all over the back bumper of that 93, and they have been for the last about 13 laps. Plus, just has not found enough momentum here, but now they are catching up to that lap traffic with Matt Moreau in that 38 car. Lap traffic not playing too much of a factor. They've been very respectful about getting up and out of the way as much as possible. See Matt getting a little high there, getting out into that outside wall. That's gonna bobble those 2 cars up a little bit, but not enough. Not enough for Lepanus' liking anyway there. He is still behind. 2 laps to go. Absolutely running out of time to get around that 93 machine. Right now, Mark Keatman won on that final lap. He is going to march to victory. Put a nice little bow on this race from the start to the finish. Keatman will win at Slinger with Carter Russo pulling in in second. James Pileski, after a last-ditch attempt, will hold on to third over Travis Lepanus. Then we got Bradley Stefan, Dean Quallie, rounding out our top 6 cars. Larsen Parker, Hunter Wellman, Matt Moreau, Logan McNitt, Austin Strang, and Mick Olsen rounding out the rest of our field. Austin Strang, Mick Olsen not completing the race. Austin several laps down. Mick about 30. Did not finish tonight's event. Unfortunate for Mick. But now we are waiting on our top 3 drivers to get down there, get their podium picture, and now go up into the waiting room here for their post-race interview. But ladies and gentlemen, who would have called it? The tight quarters of Slinger Speedway. It is hard to stay away from cars. It's hard to keep off that traffic around you. And yet these guys put on a clinic tonight. Not calling any cautions at all. Couple of minor incidents, but nothing serious. A little bit of bumping, a little bit of rubbing is racing, all that kind of fun stuff. No one crashed. not severely enough, anyways, to pull the yellow flag. So definitely a heck of a race. As we wait for our top three to get up into the booth here, and there they are. Let's bring our third place finisher, James Pileski, into the booth. James, that was a bit of a battle there between you and that 16 car.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I'm forgetting his name right now. Forget Lepanus. We'll just go there. Was definitely a lot faster than me. I don't know. I just struggled there. The car is too tight for me. I hate tight race cars, and can't adjust nothing with these. They're definitely not my favorite race car. Happy to finish third though.
Well, you definitely showed a lot of pace to get up there. You had to work through a fair bit of traffic to get back up into third place. But you definitely held him off. He, like you said, he did show a little bit more pace than you, but there's a couple of times he managed to get his nose down there. Were you able to keep more momentum on the outside when he did, or were you able to pinch him down? What was going on there that you were able to stay ahead when he got his nose inside of you?
Well, that's a little secret of me, that being my home track. So I know, it's hard to pass somebody on the inside unless their car is significantly faster or they move you. And, I feel like we're pretty good, me and him, so I didn't feel like he was going to move me. But, yeah, I just gave him the inside. When he got a run off of 4, I gave him the inside on 1, knowing I'd get a run off of 2. Especially with the gearing of this car, like you get no run off the corner, especially on the bottom. So that's just kind of how I shot it. I was really just a big pile of dookie though, so just happy to finish third.
Well, it definitely wasn't a big enough pile of dookie there to keep you out of third, especially with some of the traffic you had behind you. Like you said, there was the 16 of Travis Lepanus. You had Bradley Safon not too far off that. Dean Quallie, who's won 2 races so far this season out of 4. You definitely had competition behind you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's my home track, so I expect to run a little better. I guess there's that. But I have a real, like, in all cars, it doesn't matter if they don't turn, like I struggle. Like I'm not good at saving right fronts. I'm not good at cars that don't turn. Especially these, you can't even adjust brake bias. You can't do anything to make it turn. So I don't know. It was just a struggle for me the whole night, really. Again, cool, happy I finished third, but disappointed. Home track, we want to run better than that here. So, what are you gonna do?
Well, it definitely probably could have helped you out because Mark Heatman and Carter ahead of you, they got out to quite a lead there. A caution or two might have came in clutch for you to let those tires cool off a little bit and maybe have something for those guys ahead of you. But unfortunately, we didn't get that caution.
Yeah, and you know what? Kudos to all the guys that raced that. Like, Slinger's a hard track to not get to have any of that, right? Like, pretty rare you have a 75-lap green flag run there, even in real life. It's happened, but it's rare. So, I mean, kudos to everybody who raced,
Well, no kidding. It's a tight quarters. It's close combat racing, basically, at Slinger here. You have nowhere that you can really get away from anyone, and 75 laps caution-free is pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. It sure is. I'm like you said, you're constantly around cars, whether they're on your lap or a lap down. Like, it's pretty much every corner almost. You have a new car there, and there was a few times the lap traffic I was didn't know. I wasn't going to let Travis, sorry, Tom, I'm talking to Tom. I wasn't going to let Travis, pin me behind him. So there was some hairy moments, but yeah, I mean, like I said, Travis was definitely faster than me, but I just know a couple little secrets there to keep him behind me.
Well, those secrets came in clutch there to keep you in third, James, so congratulations on third place. I'm sure you got a few people you want to give a shout-out to.
Well, I definitely want to shout out my K-Car homies, K-Car Race Cars, Mark Keeteman's little deal. He won the race tonight, so big shout out to him. He's on all my cars. He's not on this one, but he's on all my cars. A good friend of mine. Carter Russo also is a good friend of mine. He also rocks the K-Car Race Cars, so it was pretty cool. We get a 1, 2, 3 out of it. I wish I was the winner, but yeah. Other than that, man, thank you, Tom, for doing the broadcast, and hopefully it was a good one. And yeah, see you next week.
Well, you know what? I did miss a few laps. For some reason, I dropped out, but I was able to get back in about 17 laps to go and catch the end of that battle between you and Travis. So
Hey, that had to be a pretty good battle. At least the rest of the race was probably boring. Mark way out front, Carter way by himself. At least me and Travis put on a show.
absolutely, you, Travis, Bradley was in there for a little bit. Dean, even Larson there, he kind of fell back, but Larson almost caught back up to you guys.
Yeah, well, last I heard he was a lap down, so.
But anyways, congratulations on the third place finish there, James, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Sounds good, buddy.
Alrighty, well, let's bring in our second place finisher, Mr. Carter Russo, in that 021. Carter, that's a little bit of a statement you put on out there for your first time out with the Rusty Misfits Racing League in the mini stock series.
Yeah, I got started last in my heat race with the random pill draw, and made my way up to second, and that put me starting fourth in the feature. And I just had to make my way up to the front. By the time I got to second, Mark was already gone by 2.5 seconds, and I was just hoping for a yellow at that point to try and restack the field and try and get a run on him because me and him are so close. I think me and him are going to try and start running this league, and you probably see us side by side almost every race. I mean, me and him have been racing on the sim for probably 5, 6 years together, and we've always been the same speed and always put on great racing. Just, I love these things, man.
Well, and you definitely put on a little bit of show. Like you said, you started fourth. You had a couple of cars to get your way through there. You managed to get up across those cars and up into second place. But, yeah, Mark, he was kind of long gone at that point. What a track to go green flag racing start to finish at, though.
Yeah, it's definitely, if we're gonna go green to check on a track, Slinger is definitely where it's at because it goes by fast. So, yeah, I love Slinger. I love the mini stocks, and I hate that the pill didn't go my way and I couldn't get up to the front faster. But hey, that's racing, and we still came home second in our debut, so I'll take it.
You know what? And you had a fairly solid run going into Legends earlier tonight. A couple of issues kind of sent you to the back of that pack, but you had a solid run going, and tonight you proved that was no mistake here in the mini stocks by going up there and finishing second. So you know what? Good for you.
Yeah, in the Legends race, me and Larson were side by side, and I think he got up into me, and things were so loose tonight. I think he just overdrove it and kind of got up into me. We needed all the race check we could, and that's part of it. And I restacked up, and I still finished fifth, so I'll take that. But I definitely could have been a lot stronger in both races, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I know in that Legend car, I think I was steering to the right more than I was in the left in those corners. Those cars were so sketchy going around that track.
Yep.
Anyways, Carter, I'm sure you got a few names on that car you want to give a shout out to for helping you out tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Mark Keaton Performance, Biggs and Watson, Towing, Justin Burke's Designs. Yeah, this car's actually for sale if you guys didn't know. Figured I'd throw that out there, running that paint scheme.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking to buy yourself a mini stock, talk to Carter. He's got one that's very, very competitive, up for grabs.
Thanks, sir.
All right, congratulations on second place, Carter, and I can't wait to see what happens the rest of the season with you guys. All right, well, it is time to bring our race winner into the booth with us here, Mr. Mark Keatman in that number 2 car. Well, I think we're going to have to change that number to number 1 here the way you started tonight. Started on the pole position, took that green flag, and you did not look back for 75 laps of green flag battling, Mark. That was just a Sunday drive for you, wasn't it?
Well, I guess I just hopped in here with I think I might have turned 5 laps in practice or something, but we cracked off about I think like a 48 or something there in practice, and from then on I knew it was going to be pretty good as long as I could just stay out front. But that was honestly a hell of a race. I had a lot of fun going green as long as we did.
What for a track like Slinger that it's so tight. When I was talking with James there, I basically called it close combat racing because you're never really out of traffic. Even as a leader, you got lap traffic to deal with, and there's a fair bit of that you had to contend with. They tried to be respectful as much as they could, but you still got to get around them.
Yeah, absolutely, and I will give a huge shout out to. I mean, I know they were a lap down, but the lap traffic was quite respectful. I mean, obviously they don't have to move out of the way, but all of them actually gave me the courtesy of just kind of moving up the racetrack for me and let me go on by. So I got to give a good hats off to them because not a lot of leagues or people who are lap cars do that. They usually tend to race the hell out of you for the spot, and sometimes bad things happen when that happens. But we got lucky, like I said, and it was just honestly a rocket ship. It drove great all race. I'm sure my front brakes were glowing after about 20 laps or so trying to get this thing to turn. But like I said, overall, I had a really fun time. That was a lot of fun.
Well, everybody's brakes were glowing within about 10, 15 laps there. It's such a short track. They don't get enough time to really cool down between corners, and you guys are pretty hard on them getting into that turn.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, especially in turn three because it's kind of like an off kiltered turn in my opinion. It's got like this weird bump there in the center, and if you hit it wrong, you're heading towards the outside wall. But if you hit it right, you get a really good run off. So definitely in the three, the brakes were definitely a factor. Being able to get the car to turn as the way you wanted it to be able to be fast through there.
Well, and absolutely, and your first race this season with us here in the Rusty Misfits Racing League Mini Stock Series, as well as the Legend Series earlier tonight, and you did well in both races, finishing up near the front in both events. So,
Yeah, kind of hated to see it in the Legend car race. We kind of screwed ourselves. We spun and came from last of the cars that were on the racetrack back to the lead, and Larsen got a good run on me there in the going off into three, and I just caught one weird bump that's up there by the wall, and that was all it took, and just couldn't quite hang on to it. So, but overall, like I said, I had a lot of fun tonight, and gotta give a shout out to a couple of my teammates for K Cars Race Cars. Carter and James on their good runs tonight. I'm glad they were able to keep it clean and finish up front with me. So, good job to those guys.
absolutely, it was a lot of tight racing going on behind you, but you were out there clear sailing for that entire race. You were locked in from lap one and didn't look back, so I'm sure you got a few names on that car, other than just your teammates, to thank for helping you out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I gotta thank Justin Brooks Designs for the awesome paint scheme that we have on this Caprice here, and RKM Setup Shop for all the setups they provide to all of our sim racers, and myself and K Cars Race Cars for putting this whole team deal together, and friends and family that watch this. And I gotta thank the guys that let me in the league to come run this with them, and you especially for broadcasting for us. I really appreciate it.
Well, when racing like that goes on here tonight, it is a pleasure to broadcast. It's great and fun to watch. You guys go out there, put on 75 clean laps of racing, so it's a pleasure to broadcast it, Mark.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, well, if that is everything you got for us, Mark, I don't think I got any more questions for you. You were just out there for a Sunday drive from lap one, took this one in a clean sweep fashion. So huge congratulations goes out to you for winning your first race of the season in your first attempt.
Like I said, I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, and I look forward to seeing what goes on for the remainder of the season with you guys.
Absolutely.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that will bring us to the end of tonight's broadcast. This has been the Rusty Misfits Racing League Vulcan Graphics Paved Mini Stock Series. 75 laps at the world's fastest quarter-mile oval. Clean. No cautions. Couple of minor issues, but nothing particularly serious. Mark Heatman on a statement piece victory. led all 75 laps right from the get-go. Carter Russo getting through a couple of cars to get up into second. James Pileski having to work through a little bit of traffic himself, but managed to stay right where he started the race in third. Our points leader, though, Dean Quallie, finishing down in sixth. This could potentially shake up the point standings. We're going to have to wait and see what the updated points are. But that will come later on tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Tom Quiring. Thanks for joining me in tonight's broadcast here on the Rusty Misfits Racing League YouTube channel. It has been a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you and goodbye.